So, hello everyone, welcome to the Gist Phoenix Show. And today we have a lovely guest. If you ever heard me mention BW Fit on this channel, it's just the one and only. He's here with us today, and we're going to have so much fun learning from him. And before he introduces himself, just remember your book and your pen because there's so much to be taken out so that you improve both your health, your fitness, and all around aspects of your life. And yeah, let's begin. So, I guess you're welcome to the Gistenic Show officially.
Yeah, thank you.
Glad to finally have you here. So, just a quick one. Just give us a brief introduction about yourself. If yeah, what's the thing? What's the one thing you want the channel to know you about the Gistenics community? Just
Okay. Hi everyone. Good day to you. Uh, like he rightly said, you can call me BW Fit. My name is Promise, but you can just stick to BW Fit for now. So, basically, this is the Gistenic show. Thank you so much for having me, my boss, Gist. So, we are here to talk fitness. All right, that's my specialty. That's what I want you to know me for. Want to talk about how you can stay healthy with just your body weight from the comfort of your home or from anywhere around the world at all. Okay, so for the past couple years, Gist and we've been at this a long time, right? And along the years, we faced our own challenges. But we are here today to talk about how we can use our day-to-day lives to achieve our goals, no matter how challenging it might actually be. But there is always a way out, okay? There's always a way for you to tick the boxes by the day. So I hope that at the end of today's video, you will be convinced that you can always keep fit no matter how tight your schedule, no matter how time taking your work is, you can always be fit. So thank you all for having me. I hope you enjoyed the show.
yeah. Wow, that was a packed one. Just a little background story. Guys, let me share this here. I think this is the first time I'm saying this openly. But of course, why not? Since, because that's all the gist show is about. Now, one of the things that made me, one of the reasons I got into calisthenics was through this man here. I'll say it in this way. I remember back
Okay.
to our college days. Yeah, me starting, I've always talked about how I started out in fitness. Basically, I started out with the bodybuilding line and I was researching a lot, learning about it and getting into all that. That time we were still I was in the hostel then. I think you were saying outside school. Then I trained with the weights, the hostel weights. For those that know a typical, well, let's say African outdoor gym, how we all the weights made with cement and all those things. So we now had that out. Then I remember after some time, there was a day he came to the hostel, and then he, I remember he was standing on the porch that time. Then he took off his shirt. He took off his shirt, and I was like, "Hold up, what?" Like, are there people built like this? And then why do then over time we got to have conversations and even it was still funny. Me, I didn't really have a bias towards that. But people were asking, what how do you train? Which gym do you go to? He's like, I just use my body weight. Then people I remember people will even be like, who is this guy? Why is he trying to lie to us? This kind of thing where you ask, let's say you ask a rich person how did they make it? They cannot be like, oh, now God, oh, all those. So people will be like, you are trying to why are you trying to whine me, or why are you trying to hide? You don't want to share. But over time, we got talking, and that's when I now started even reading into the whole body weight workouts, calisthenics, and all those kind of things. And I saw that it's actually possible. And he showed me, he showed it well, excuse me, through his physique, number one. And then when we got to train together, I got to see it. And then as we continued training from the inception of BW Fit, Remember, it started that funny day when we went out to train. Was it on the Saturday? Then we were not like, let's do this again. We're
Yeah.
just 4 or 5. We were like, let's do this again. So we now came the next time. Then before you know it, people will pass, they'll not come and they'll see us, okay, come and join us. Before you know it, we now thought of something, and all of a sudden, VW Fit, we now had times where everyone was coming to train Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays. Can never forget. Those were some good times. So I'm glad I got to put this out there. I mean, it just came to mind now. I'll say the truth. And yeah, it was a lovely experience. So first things first, if you are doubting that body weight can do it for you, doubt no more. But you get to find out soon more of what I'm saying. So first of all, I want to thank you officially for bringing me into the body weight area, the calisthenics area. Why so let's get into it. Let's start like this. Just take us through your background, fitness, coming up, how it all started, where it all began. Were you born like this? Did you come out of the womb all ripped and stuff? What was it like? Help us.
Okay, so before I tell you the background story, the question you just asked. So I attended a wedding some weekends back,
Yeah.
and one of my cousins who thought, according to her, she thought this is how I was born, and she saw me walking out one morning, and she was like, "Oh, I thought you were born with this thing," and I'm like, "Ah, really?" Okay, so I'll try to be brief. I haven't even posted this on my channel yet, but one day I hope to do it. I'll just tell you a very quick story on how I started. So,
Mhm.
um, I I'm not against anybody lifting weights or going to the gym. I intend to in the near future. But the reason why I started with body weight was back in high school, I was an athlete. Okay, I played football. I was good on track. So, but I had a very silly experience one time. I was playing football with a group of guys who were way bigger than myself, but I was good. So I tried to run past someone and he just used his shoulder to shade me. And I found myself in the bush. Yeah. So after training that fateful day, my coach said, "You're good, but there's something you lack." And I was curious. I wanted to know what it was. So he said, "You need to work on your stamina. You need to work on your strength. You're good, you're fast, but you need to be stronger." So, because of that experience, when I got back from school that term, I started researching things. I had senior cousins who used to lift the local weights that Gistanit was talking about, and I never had interest in it because, yeah, some of them were building good physique, but they were not really attentive to certain parts. So I am someone who, if I go into something, I like to be very intentional about it. So I was doing research. That was when I discovered Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, and when I discovered him, what fascinated me mostly about his physique was his chest. And I often asked, how did he get it to be that defined? Okay, so um, I got a philosophy rather from him that when you've trained till failure, that is when the actual workout begins, right? When you train till failure, that's when the actual workout begins.
Yes.
So when I started asking online, I started asking, how do I build my stamina without getting to lift weights? So I saw some exercise recommendations, push-ups, pull-ups, squats, and the likes. I saw calisthenic guys do crazy things, and I wanted to be like them. Like any young guy who would see people do things, amazing things, and you want to copy what they are doing. You want to be better. You want people to see you and be like, this guy is superhuman. So that's how I started, yeah. I made very simple routines of push-ups, squats, pull-ups. I was doing it on a daily basis. It got to a point my mom would look at me and say, "You are not a human being." And I would smile, I would say, "Boy, you gave birth to me though." So I became very consistent at it that term. I wasn't seeing the result. Now, this is for everyone who you've maybe been working out for a month or two and you're not seeing anything on your body, trust me, the outside world, they will see the result. But the first few months, you yourself, you will not see anything. Do you understand? So I was not seeing any result, but I felt I was becoming stronger. But then when I got to school the following term, my friend said, "You started going to the gym." And I said, "No, I haven't." And they're like, "You're becoming bigger. Look at your shoulder. Look at you." I'm like, I'm not doing anything, I promise. It's just push-ups. And because of that, I had the motivation to continue. And fast forward from then, this is around 2014, 2015. Fast forward from then till now, I have tried to be a bit consistent. It's not easy, yeah. Working with body weight or building muscle or building that unique physique with body weight is 100% possible. Just like you going to the gym to lift weight, all you have to do is be consistent, okay? No matter how small you think your routine might be, no matter how insignificant it might be to other people, but the consistency, the showing up on a daily basis or whatever your own schedule is, or meeting your targets every week, every month is going to yield results that you would not even imagine. So that's how I started, just because someone told me, "Hey, you're good, but you need more stamina. You need to build your strength." And I decided to search for a way out. And trust me, I built strength. I graduated the best in sports in my set. Why? Because I was stronger, I was still fast, I was agile, I was everything. Now it got to a point where people would tell me, "You're built like this, so you can't run." This is one beautiful thing about body weight. I might be built as I am, but I'm still very fast. So it has a lot of pros and it's really amazing doing body weight. So that's been my journey so far and I've loved it. And I think Gist has been a part of this journey since I think 2018, 2017, 2018. We've known ourselves and we got to train together. We got to burn. It's been totally amazing. So that's just been my life so far. It's been complicated. We'll tell you about these complications maybe in another video. But for today, that's how we started, and we are still growing by the grace of God. So that's just it.
Wow. I like I say in another video, but the audience might just want more. Let's see how far we can get for today. Trust me, no matter how many videos we'll get, there are still so many things to talk about. That's one thing I found out with any area, and especially this one that we're in, fitness. Like, no matter how much you talk about, there's still something that needs addressing, something that you can gain insights from one way or the other. And that's one beautiful thing. I love that. So, yeah, he mentioned something like you need someone that will push you to start. You need a reason. And funny how his reason was quite actually was really legit to me. I had funny reasons
Right?
for starting fitness. I'll tell you the truth. Yeah, I had really funny reasons for starting fitness. I think one of them was okay. One of the most pronounced one was that I was I started fat. I grew up fat. Then, but most people that know me now don't know that side of me. But I got to say it over time that I started. No, I won't say fat. Round. Round was the word. So having that, one thing I admired when I saw fit people, or even if they were not really fit, but veins, seeing veins on their hands, veins come here. I was like, I want to see these veins on my hand too. And that's one of the things that made me get into fitness. Not gonna lie. And trust me, now I can see a whole lot more, more of the veins. Then
Okay.
I remember the first time I stopped working out, I didn't really classify that period of my life as working out. But I remember I was doing something that was in my high school days. That was towards the final level, my SS3. That was the final one, yeah. So I remember stopping because there was a guy I used to be taller than. Then all of a sudden, after some time, I noticed that he became taller than me. So I was now thinking, oh, maybe it's the workouts I was doing that hindered my height. So I will not even hear your view on that. Do workouts actually restrict growth in terms of height. So aside muscle growth, we know that it gives us muscle growth, but does it restrict height? Because I've gotten to hear that severally, even in other places. Though I ended up growing well enough. The guy is still taller than me now, Sha. I think I saw him last year. But notwithstanding, I'm buff regardless. My body compensated to an extent, and I know me, I'm still getting to 7 feet. So just to ask, let me know if I still have hope in my journey to 7 feet. Do those workouts hinder
Uh,
height growth?
7 feet. Let's start from there. You want to get to 7 feet?
Yeah, actually. The mountain
Really?
level. I think the mountain is 6'8". So guys, just watch me on this channel. Currently 6 on the dot.
That's okay. Where are you currently?
6 on the dot.
Okay, so you want
7 feet.
okay.
One
We'll
feet.
hold you up. Okay, yeah. So does working out stop people from growing tall? Right? That was the
Yeah.
question. Um I've had to argue with people over time because of this particular question, and it got to a point where I just thought there was no need arguing with people again because there are certain things that can be controlled by genetics, and there are certain things that can be controlled by the things you eat and your way of life and stuff like that. But I don't think height is one of the things that workouts can actually control. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying at that point where I started working out in high school, I had I had friends who were older than I. I had some that were younger. I had some that were the same age range. But we used to when they saw how my body was turning out because of the exercise I had started going into, some of them were very much interested and they started joining me in it. Now, before we crossed into SS1, there is someone I was very close to. We used to play ball together, but he was older. He used to work out. He looked bigger than I, right? Because he used to actually lift weight. He looked
Mm.
bigger than I. But when we got back the following term, he had his height was like give or take 2 to 3 years higher than we left the previous term.
Yeah.
And when you see his family, you see traits that okay, they were around that range getting to. Do you understand? But
Yeah.
this guy was already more. So I used to ask myself, how did this person grow? And then there is some other person who used to play ball actively with me, used to try to train to an extent. We were close to the same height as at SS1, JS3, SS1, SS2. All of a sudden, he
Shut up.
became taller. Do you get? So I
Yeah.
was asking myself, but this guy is training with me. And I have never, for one, thought that it's because I work out, that's why my height is where it is. I think I'm about 5'9", 5 ish. You understand? So
Yeah.
I've never like that because I've seen my family, right? Genetically speaking, I've seen that okay, I'm taller than my dad, my cousin, I'm taller than him. In my family, we are just almost if there is any gap, it's just maybe an inch, 2 inches. We are just around that kind of range. So
Yeah.
I have made peace with the fact that okay, that's where my family is. There's nobody shooting too high. So I don't think your height has anything to do with whether you work out, you
Yeah.
lift weight or not. It doesn't have anything to do with the amount of muscle mass you build. Okay. Muscle is due to exercising and taking enough protein. Your height is purely genetics. Okay. Yes. What you eat can actually help it as well. But wherever your height will end up is purely the work of your genes. Okay. That's what I think about that one. But we really want to see this 7 foot you're talking about. So we want to see it. I mean,
Stay
7 feet.
tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
Wow, 7 feet.
Yeah. One thing I've always, when I see tall people, especially tall people that don't work out, I'm like, why are you wasting this this goodness? The time
Yeah,
I traveled quite,
why?
yeah, like I traveled and then this guy was buff and he was tall. So this is him walking. It was around along the subway, and he was walking, and then it was as if every other person was just even me, like even me. Every other place, he was just sub height. And the guy was just on his own. He was with his tank tops and his shorts. You know, this pro bodybuilders kind of vibe that go for competitions with his backpack. And he was just walking with his headset. Like, mind blowing. Then when I see people that are tall and don't work out, maybe they are slouched, I'm like, so much potential hidden in this. You could basically look down on somebody. That's just a joke. But yeah, that stuff has quite intrigued me, I must say. And that's why it's a journey I'm going on. Don't worry. I'm not saying I'm going on, I'm on already. So we're working on, just stay tuned to my
Okay.
progress here. Everything we documented here live. You will see
So
how I am getting to this goal. So yeah, moving on. You mentioned
don't
something about,
start trying.
okay. You say you want to say something?
I'll be a constant
For sure, for sure. Thank you. Guys, you see, you need a BW fit in your life. So yeah. Now, while you were talking about that, you mentioned something about genetics, and that's an interesting concept to me. So, how big of a role do you think genetics really play in someone's fitness life, in their growth journey, all those kind of stuff?
okay. Let's use this 0 to 100% scale to measure it up. When it
Okay.
comes to your when it comes to building muscle, let's be specific here. When it comes to building muscle, getting the kind of body you want to get, permit me to say that your genetics plays 0 to 10% of the role. Okay, what actually gets you to build your body is your way of life. It's either you train for it, while also taking note of protein intake and stuff. That's when you get to build. So the intensity you put into your workout, um, I'm not going to really talk about dieting. That's Justinian's work. I think he's more versed in that particular department. He's good, very good when it comes to dieting and all. But for some time, I have paid attention to diet. But for some longer time, I haven't really paid attention to that. But what I have been 100% into has been the physical training. Okay. It's been the working out aspect of it. So I put more time and effort into working out because I am 100% sure that working out is what actually helps you to build muscle. Okay.
Yeah.
So I, I saw a video he made concerning that subject. I made a video on it as well. When you think you're not building the way you want to build and you attribute it to genetics, it's not actually the fault of your genetics at all. Your genes have no role to play there. You just have to maybe change what you are doing or check or track exactly what you're doing. I have people who have registered in the gym for a year, 1 full year. And because you don't have a specific program or you don't have a schedule you're following or you don't have a proper plan, you're unable to meet a particular target. And you just assume, in my line, in my family, we are skinny. So no matter how much I try to train, I won't be able to build muscle. It's a lie, bro, sis. It's a
Big
huge lie.
lie.
So when it comes to your height, when it comes to your height, mostly, I can tell you that whatever is peculiar to your family, you may likely inherit that. But when it comes to building muscle, it is purely the work you put into it. Okay? There are
Yeah.
people, I've been doing body weight for over 9 years, and there are people who confront me and they say, easy boss, and they say, I've been doing the same thing you're doing, but I'm not seeing results. Those kind of people would want to attribute it to, oh, my family, we just do not add that easily. That's not it. Okay. And like Justinic said, when we actually met each other and went into the journey together, there is a depth, there is a kind of knowledge we got from working out alongside each other. I learned from him, he learns from me. So if you do not have a proper plan or you don't have knowledge, exact knowledge of what you are doing and how you're supposed to do it, it's going to seem as if you're not seeing results. But trust me, if you have a plan, if you actually follow up your physical exercise properly, you will definitely build muscle. Now, I would want to say that dieting is primary, yeah, it's good. But instead of calling it dieting, I would say this: eating is very important. Okay. When it comes to building muscle, you have to eat well. Okay. I'll leave the breaking down of the eating to dieting to just, it's going to help you do that properly. But eat well. That's the first thing. If you're eating well and you're training well, you will definitely. It has to do with how your father looked or how your uncles look. It has nothing to do with your genes. It just has everything to do with the intensity of work you put into it. So, what about you, Just? What do you think makes people resolve to my genetics is not allowing me to build muscle?
Now, that's that's quite some stuff you said actually, from building muscle to the height, and those are actually true stuffs. Those are true stuffs. Now, I would say what genetics to me. Now, as I said in the video I did quite a while back. If you've not checked it out, for anyone that's not checked it out, just check there. I think what was the title? Genetics something. So it's something that now when people say, "Oh, you've had good genes," I smile and say, "Yeah." I mean, perfect genes. I will even tell you, as in, I was born like this. Just as I laugh. Because before starting out, when people ask, tell me, oh, Jesus, I start going to all the explanations and everything, everything, everything. And I found out that most people, they're not really thinking at first, they're not really looking at that. They're just looking for quick fixes or one thing when they're not actually using a structured plan or system, and they're just doing as it is. Just when maybe New Year they go to the gym, New Year, new me, and after 1 week, some if they are strong, 1 month they fall out, and then all those kind of things. So having that, they see someone fit online. Oh, I'm back to the gym. Go again, summer body. We hit all those things. Go. So they're having that fluctuations all the time. Then when they now see that they're not getting it, which of course we know that they won't get, because I said it's all mathematics. If you don't do 1 plus 1, you won't get two. There's no way you get two. There are other now. There's using another system. You can do 8 minus 6, which will still give you two. But at the end of the day, it's still a system that is put in place. So I'm not saying you should only do 1 plus 1. You can also do 8 minus 6 and so many others. But the idea is have a system, because most of them, when they don't have a system and they just do like that, then you get to see that they now blame for people that were able to follow a system and walk through it. They now label them with that genetics talk that, oh, you have perfect genetics, oh, you have all the motivation in the world, you have all the kind of things. And I would say that that genetics tag, people using it, is more like a blame game. And what I always say is blame is cheap. I mean, it's easy to blame somebody, but at the end of the day, if you can't really figure out what went down, then that's where the problem is. So, to me, genes has some roles to play. I mean, genes has some roles to play, like height, as you outrightly mentioned. Sometimes I joke with my mother and tell her she's the one that reduced my height because, like, my dad's side, they are very tall. They're very tall. I met some of them, and my dad's cousins, even his younger brother, they're all tall. Even him himself is huge. So one of the tallest ones I met, his cousins. They were slouching like almost hunchback, but you know this kind of thing that you have been walking with your head down, and they were still far tall. So like even with their slouch manner. So I got to see that in my side we have good genes. Then my mom's side, they are average heighted, and then, so I just joke with her sometimes. I'm like, why did you reduce my genes? But one thing is funny. One thing that's funny at the end of the day is they see an extent that you can actualize your genes, and that's where working out comes in, because your continuous activities, your habits, have a big role to play in what you actually actualize at the end of the day. So most of us are used to maybe slouching, pressing your phone, and all those kind of things. They are inhibiting your growth in your genes, in quotes. At the end of the day, I'll say some people don't actually, there are lots of people that don't actually actualize their genes. Like they never get to know what it feels like to have a six pack on their body, or what it feels like to be just even if it's moderately fit or something like that. So most people just start, even people that are relatively fat and so on, they just say, in my family we're all fat. I mean, in your family, they probably didn't work or they were all eating without looking at other things, doing the exercise, all those kind of things. So there's always something to it. And it's not genes that is the problem for most people. In fact, for all, it's not genes that is the problem. I'll say that. Just whatever you were given, you yourself, and the way I like to put it is, I basically create a new genome line for my generations to come. So what the activity I'm doing now basically alter the DNA completely, entirely of my future generations, where people will now be like, "Oh, the Basi line, perfect genes," and I'll smile and say, "Yes, we're born like that." So yeah, that's something quite interesting about genetics, and it's a lovely. So if you can have fine genes, I mean, go for it. Why not? But if you don't have it, or if you think you don't have it, then just put in the work. And one thing you get to realize at the end of the day is you might actually have had it all along. You just didn't put in the work.
Hmm, hmm.
You get those kind of things. Like looking back at a lot, I'll just see that I could actually been like this since. What took me so long? What took me so long? But yeah, it's part of the journey. Is what we can tell our stories now and then teach it to other people, so that they don't just stick with the blame game and genetics, and then they actually actualize what actualize. Is that right? They get to see
Hmm.
what exactly it is in their genes. They get to bring it out to its fullness, and then probably create new layers on top it for their generations to come. Oh, but I love that genes talk. Like it's a very sweet one. Not gonna lie. So there was something
Like,
you mentioned. Yeah, you mentioned in passing. So I just said, let me bring it back. Let's just hear it out. And it's one of these exercise myths that go around a lot. You see exercising versus dieting, and you talked on it, but also you just brushed past it. So I want you to just give us a few minutes on that. Exercising versus dieting. Which one is actually which one is actually important? Which one is more important? Which one that should I only be doing? Or what are your thoughts on that whole battle entirely?
okay, let me see. What can I do to explain that comparison between both? Um, okay. I'm a civil engineer, yeah, so I'll just come from my field, right?
Yeah.
When you're trying to get concrete, right? You
Yeah.
mix three things together. Actually four, but I'm going to limit it to three, right? You
Yeah.
mix the cement with the aggregates and water, right?
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I'm three, the aggregates, there are two sizes, but you can just liken them to be one. You can put them together. But I'm just saying you mix cement, aggregate, and water together, right? To
Yeah.
get concrete. And concrete is very strong, solid structure, right? Now, when it comes to building or bodybuilding, for instance, there are three things that come to play: your diet, your training, and your rest and recovery period. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, truth be told, none is more important than the other. But because we are human beings living in this world, it is not possible to actually balance it unless you are people like Arnold Schwarzenegger then when they were training, or you're like gist. I don't know if you are still working. Not in this category. But except you're someone that is a pro athlete who you're getting paid for what you're doing, and all the time in the world you have, you're investing it in your diet, in your training, and in your rest and recovery period. That's when you can actually get a 100% on those three. Now, when I bring it down to just dieting and working out, dieting is very important. And I can tell you that on my end, I can treat my diet to 20% and my workout to 80%, and I'll still look better than someone that's doing a 50-50. Now, it all depends on how structured, like Joshua said, how structured your own plan is. Now,
Mm.
remember, the diet is important, the workout too is important, and your rest and recovery is important. And like we say in this fitness journey, your rest and recovery period is where muscles actually grow. Okay,
Sure.
so um, how much are you tracking what you are eating? For someone like me, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give my diet 2. That's why I said 20% for dieting and 80% for working out. So I'll give my diet just 2/10. That's not because I wouldn't want to invest so much in it, but that's because where I am currently, I don't have the time, I don't have enough resources to do it the way I would like to do it. So I know this is one of the major things people out there are struggling with, how to balance their diet with their workout, with their recovery. But you are living in a world where, except this is your line of work, you might not be able to track it properly. If you're someone like me that does a 9 to 5, all you can do for yourself is get a structured plan that works for you. Now, I do not practically track my diet the proper way. I'm not advising you not to. Now, if I was tracking it the proper way, right, and I was working out with the intensity I used to work out, I would be better. I would look better. But the reason why I am still looking good is because even if I do not track it the way it's supposed to be, I pay attention to one thing. And that one thing is my protein intake. Now, let me be very practical. I go to site every day, and if I'm getting food from outside, I always ask the lady to put 2 eggs, just two. Now, these 2 eggs, funnily enough, has become like a trademark. So immediately you see her bring food into the site and they check the plate and it's 2 eggs, they know, oh, it belongs to Engineer Promise. Why? Because irrespective of how my resources may be, irrespective of how I might not really be particular about the dieting, but I know that in order for me to build well, in order for me to look good, I have to prioritize my protein. And almost everything around you, especially if you're Nigerian, is carbohydrate. Now, it's good when it comes to strength for the workout or strength for work that you're going through around during the day. But to build muscle, you have to pay attention to protein, right? So on my own part, my small 20% is to eat eggs as often as I can, to get yogurt as often as I can. But anything that has a little bit of protein in it, I just make sure I try to do them. That doesn't mean that I am 100% invested in it. But then you see, working out, I take it to a different level. Why? Because I know the level of protein that I am supposed to take. So I try to work out more effectively. Now, the human body is funny. It's not every day that you wake up, you feel good to work out. But there are times where you have to push the body to actually tick a box. That's why I would say consistency is key. Now, after you also work the muscles, you have to rest, dear ladies and gentlemen. Some of you go to the gym every day. It's good, but you should find time to rest. Going to the gym every day without having a rest day can be one of the reasons why you get worn out and yet you don't see results. Also, working out every day without actually hitting any protein at all. Some of you might be eating junk, just junk. You're not actually eating anything that's healthy. You see snack here, you eat, you see snack here, you eat, but you're working out, and you see the result, right? But it might not be as progressive or as high as you intended for it to be. So um, for me, it is basically whatever you're able to prioritize more, you're going to see results in it. Now, you're prioritizing dieting more than working out. You might develop or build a leaner physique, but you not really see the muscle because, irrespective of the amount of protein you are eating, if you do not work out, there is no muscle. We might be lifting heavy things. Maybe you are carrying bags for mommy, for your boss. And yeah, you'll be feeling as if that's heavy duty work you're doing. But working out targets muscles, like specific muscle. So if you're trying to build a physique, you need a workout program, irrespective of how low your protein or carbohydrate or diet is. You need a specific workout program. Now, if you're working out and you are eating healthy, it doesn't have to be too tracked. For me, I'm not telling you not to track your diet. I'm telling you that for me, I do not pay so much attention to it because if I want to, it's expensive for me. It's really expensive. So instead of trying to focus my attention on that, I am eating it to the best of my ability, but I'm working out more effectively. So I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not here to tell you working out is more important than dieting. No, that's not what I said. Did I say that at any point? No. I told you that they all work together hand in hand, but you have to pick your poison. Now, if you're able to do the dieting properly and do the workout properly, it's still going to be to your benefit. I hope you guys understand me. Now let's hear from my boss what he has to say because I know he's going to pick the side for dieting. Let's go there.
Yeah, that's that's a really good one you said. And things I can pick from it, which I can really say is one thing he has said. In fact, he has said so much. And one thing I would say is this. He mentioned that from his story that he gave out, excuse me, he mentioned that he works from where he is. That's what I mean by this is that you know your current stage of life. You know your current stage of
Can
life.
you give me a brief one?
All right.
Just give me one.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so as I was saying, there's something particular he talked about which I derived from his story, which is looking at your own circumstances currently, looking at your way of life, and then finding out how you can optimize that particular way of life to help you hit your goals. And that's something that I really got to teach from my workout programs that I got set up. Because I realized, oh, there are people with different spheres of influence, different spheres of life that might still have want to hit their workout goals. So I have programs for each case because one thing I believe is no matter where you are currently in life, whether you are very affluent or you are still trying to find your footing, you can still do something about it. I mean, we've seen people, low income earners with fit bodies, and we've seen high income earners with fit bodies, and we've also seen the reverse case. So your situation is not really a problem. It's only a problem if you make it a problem and if you are not trying to work from where you are. So optimize where you are currently. And there's always something you can do with where you are now to hit your goals. Remember in our BW Fit days, we were barely eating. We will still go and work out. And well, we had good bodies. I mean, so many pictures. So that's the thing with whichever stage you were, you can still hit your goals. So that's one thing I picked out. Then from several things that he mentioned, which are quite interesting, he mentioned about I'm going through my notes because that's how I wrote it down. Okay, you mentioned protein. Let's There are three particular areas. Let's just pick them one by one. You mentioned protein, where you focus on protein. So why is protein really important? Why not carbohydrates? You touched slightly on it, but I want you to give more insights from your own view. Why you say that even with your current state, whatever it might be, that you don't joke with proteins. So why would you say how important are they really?
Okay.
Are you there? Can you hear me? So I've lost you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So talking about protein and carbohydrate, yeah. Um For whoever is watching, guys, I would like you to make it a point of duty to always try to do your own research. Irrespective of what you learn from anybody,
Yeah.
always try to gain more knowledge on a certain topic. First of all, yeah, for anyone looking to build body, you want to build muscle. I like to use muscle because it's different. When you say bodybuilding, muscle building, some people might interpret it in different ways. But you're trying to build muscle, you have to prioritize protein. Now, carbohydrates is important for energy. Um, for instance, I'm going to give you a cheat that I normally do. Now, every time before a leg day, if I do not eat prior to that leg session, there is this dizziness I get. And I'm sure it happens to most people, right? You feel very dizzy, you feel so weak. Why? Because anything that has to do with the lower body, the muscles of the lower body, they're like the thickest, the biggest in your body. So if you're working them out, um, the concentration there will make blood to like want to clot around whichever muscle group you were working on. Okay. And if you had not eaten properly and you've not maybe tried to move around enough, you feel that dizziness. So what I do before any workout session, any lower body workout session is I try to eat a lot of carbohydrates. I'm not going to mention them so that you not use that to rate me up and down. But then I try to prioritize carbs. Why? Because that is I think the class of food that supplies more energy. And protein here is what aids with repair of muscles and muscle mass and all that. So the reason why I prioritize protein mostly is because I work out a lot. So I may do carbohydrates but little because I have already built my strength over time. So it has become like a system for me. I can just wake up in the morning and I can do 5 sets of a particular workout easily because I have built it into my system and my body is used to it. So even if my body does not really have enough fuel for the activity, but because it is a system that the body is already used to, I'll be able to do it easily. But then, one thing that the body always needs is fuel for repair. So if you're not getting the body enough fuel to repair the muscles that you've done over your very intensive workout session, it has to drag the energy or the repair mechanism from itself. So you can see someone who is training effectively, but not really growing, but becoming leaner. Those kind of people are people that do not really take the eating of protein or dieting particularly seriously. Why? Because your body has stored some of these things somewhere. So if it's looking for the external one that is supposed to come and it doesn't actually see it, it reaches inside to get what it already has stored to fix all those broken things. When it is doing that, the muscle might be becoming stronger and leaner, but you also be looking smaller because you're not bringing the source again from outside. You are still feeding on what you have stored inside. So I tried to get protein. I did something practically for 1 week. I tried to not exercise too often, but I was eating things that contained more protein on and on and on. So during the weekend, I decided to go a very intensive session. Now, there is a level of pump you feel from your regular session, but this one was different. Why? Because I think I think it's because I had accumulated a lot of protein grams in my system that was just there, sitting, waiting for something to repair. So I kept on eating it, but I wasn't working out that particular week. I wasn't doing anything at all. So I kept on eating and eating and eating and eating these things. And the day I finally said, "Oh yeah, let's use this fuel for something." After working out, the specific groups I targeted, I felt soreness, I felt pain for the straight week after. And this is not scientific, please. And I am not trying to use this to explain anything medically related. But this is what I felt. The soreness and the pains I felt that week straight, I felt like it's as a result of the amount of protein I had accumulated and the particular muscle I targeted on that day of the workout. So I've torn a lot of tendons and they are trying to fix themselves. And they have enough fuel to fix themselves. That's why I'm feeling pain to that degree. And this is a kind of pain that I felt only like the first few months after I started workout. You know that there are people that do not work out at all, and then you just start, and after your first session, it feels like your body is going to break down. You feel this soreness. You're like, if this is how it is, I don't want to. That's because your body is new to it. So I just starved my body from that workout for 1 week, and I was eating protein, just mainly protein. I ate it to a point, even I myself was like, okay, so you're just eating eggs, you're eating this one, you're eating that one. That's just protein. And by the time I did the workout, after the workout, few days, like a straight week, I was feeling soreness everywhere. And the only thing I felt, like I said, was that is the protein I had in my body helping repair the muscles that I have worked. And I felt so good. I don't know if you understand it. So yeah, if you want to be specific about it, if you're trying to build or get energy to sustain you throughout the day, then get carbohydrates, things that contains carbohydrates, get more of them. But if you're trying to get energy for workout and you're trying to fill yourself up for proper recovery, eat carbs, but prioritize protein because protein is what fuels your muscle. Protein is what helps repair all the tears that when you are doing 500,000 push-ups or you are doing your bench press or whatever, and then you've torn all the muscles and you need them to fix themselves. It's protein that you take more that would help you with the recovery. So I hope I've been able to use my to
Yeah,
explain it.
quite well. You really put it out there. So, guys, make sure you hit your protein. Like, hit your protein. On this channel, I've taught you how to. I think have I done. I should do a video on how to actually calculate your protein. But I did a video on protein though. So guys, you can check it out. Just go to the Gistenics channel if this is your first time, and you see scroll down, you see the protein video. I think the thumbnail was like a big ostrich egg. So definitely they won't miss it. So the next one was now you mentioned about tracking while you were talking at first, that you mentioned that this is how you get to track. Like people don't hit their goals because they are not tracking. So how do you get to actually track whether it's your workouts, whether it's your diet, whatever it may be? But from what you track, what you mentioned that you track, how do you track it?
Okay, basically, I am referring to the workout. I'm really
Okay.
having a hard time tracking my diet because number one, like I said, if I want to, for me, okay, I'm speaking for me now. If I want to track my diet, I feel like it's going to be really expensive, and it actually is really expensive to a certain degree. That's why, to me, I'm sticking to eggs mostly, yogurt on the side. You understand? But what I'm
Have you
able to
sorry,
track,
just to cut, have you tried Greek yogurt? Have you tried Greek
yeah,
yogurt? Um,
yes,
like
sir.
that's the odogo of protein.
I know.
All right, sorry for cutting you. Yeah.
So, what I've been able to track properly has been my workout. Just like you're doing now, um, journaling is good. I know some people see journaling as being old school, prefer to type on your phone or something, but to avoid distractions, try to journal your journey. Okay. How I track, I have maybe if I'm making a video on it, I'll show you notebooks where I have written routines
Please
and I
do.
have counseled helps, right? If you do not properly track your exercise, you might not know. There are times you want to work out and you're doing everything sparingly. Okay.
Yeah.
I am fond of telling this particular thing. Whether you're registering for the gym or you're doing home workouts, please try your possible best not to want to do everything at the same time. Okay, it kills effectiveness. Don't try to do everything at the same time. It's very, very, very useful. When you see people on Instagram and other fitness influencers, when they post their routines or their weekly schedules, that is how you're supposed to do it. Now, you don't have to follow somebody's schedule. You can if it is convenient, but you have to create something that works with you. And I am fond of saying, make sure that your schedule fits into your life properly so that you do not make excuses. Okay. So what I do is just like he mentioned, while we're running BW Fit, we used to work out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Now, for me, that was a norm, right? Because we had specific
Mm.
exercises for those days. Now, Tuesdays were mainly lower body focused, Thursdays were upper body focused, and Saturdays were full body exercises. Okay. But
Yeah.
the important thing is that do not try to do everything at the same time. You can focus on a specific, maybe lower body, maybe upper body, maybe your back and arms, maybe your abs. Just pick something for a particular workout session and hit it hard. Okay, that's how I track mine. I write it down. Let's say today's Sunday, and I'm trying to work a routine for the whole week. Now I'm going to say on Monday I'm going to do cardio. That Monday, I make sure, aside cardio, any other thing I want to do that is extra is it's smaller compared to the amount of cardio I intend to actually take for that day. And if you can get what you're doing for the whole week down today, and then Monday, you take the box. Tuesday, you take the box. Wednesday, you take the box. Ensure that you have your rest days in between. But make sure that you have something like a clear picture of what you're trying to get. That's just the way you track it. Have a clear picture. Let it be like a schedule of activity, a curriculum that you have to make sure you follow it daily. Because if you just want to, I had actually done this a while back where I just want to randomly do the exercise. Can just wake up today and say, what should I do today? What should I do today? Just to stay and decide what I want to do today. At the end, I might not do anything. Okay. I'll realize at the end I might not do anything. I'll just do maybe a set of push-ups. I want to do squats. I want to do this one. And then I'm exhausted. I'm sure that's how it is for most people. So try to break it down to good schedules that actually fit into your own lifestyle. And if you're able to track it like that on a weekly basis, I'm not even saying monthly, I'm not saying monthly. Just do 1 week schedule. Keep it. Try to tick the box every week. Once you've done this week, on the weekend, check what was I able to achieve. I worked out this, I worked out this. Look in the mirror. I'm sure you'll be proud of what you see in the mirror. But if you can do that consecutively for weeks and weeks and weeks, it will be easier to actually arrive at your results. So that's just what I was talking about in tracking. Track
Oh
your,
yeah.
if you can track the diet proper, track the diet, workout. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's a big one. So I'm glad you even came in this line because that was the third question I was going to ask in from the first talk you did, and during this talking, this you just actualize it better. Why am I using actualize so much today? You just made it form better,
Uh,
and I'll put it in this way. The question now came in this form: for them to track something means that they actually have to know what to track. So how do they actually know what to track workout wise? And that also leads in this way. How do they form a routine for themselves? So from those that want a routine, what do they have and what they want. Before you answer that, I'll just give an instance for what you mentioned, which talked about clarity of purpose. So basically, them knowing what they want to achieve workout wise, and then from knowing what they want to achieve, they are now able to walk around, to walk towards that goal. Yeah, that's the right step. So now, assuming someone has come to meet you now with a clear picture that this is what I want to be like, or I want to build muscle, I want to lose fat, I want to do strength training, whatever it may be. So, what do you look out for when forming out a routine, whether for
yeah.
yourself or for a person? I don't know if you get that.
So the good part of what you're asking is you ask the first question and you answer it yourself.
Yeah.
Before you're able to track something, the first thing is know exactly what you want to achieve, know what your goal is, know what the purpose of what you're doing actually is. So you've defined that, you've gotten something down. Oh, this is what I aim to achieve with this. Now, once you have actually decided that, okay, this is where I'm going to, next thing is for you to lay down a plan to get to where you're going. Now, in order for you to lay down a plan, first thing is you have to understand your own system. That's why I said earlier on that you should always make sure that your workout routine or whatever you want to do fits into your life. For instance, I'll use myself. Okay, I go to work every day, and I have to go early. I have to come back a little bit late, depending on the nature of work that day and stuff. So what I do is I wake up early. I set an alarm for myself, and before I decide to structure a workout into my daily routine, I have sat down to look at my day, how it is without the workout. So I have to wake up, I have to prepare myself, and I have to go to work. I spend hours at work. I have to come back. When I get back to the house, oh, this is what I have to do. This is what I have to do. And I call it a day. Now, when I have looked at my whole daily schedule, the next thing is where can I fix something that makes me comfortable? Because what makes it challenging for most of us to track whatever we are doing is we tend to bombard ourselves. You have a tight schedule already. Your day is already very, very tight. You're fixing things where they're going to make you um, more uncomfortable, right? So instead of doing that to yourself, I often tell people start small. There's no harm in working your way into it. You have to grow progressively. So for somebody, for instance, if we're talking about a person who is starting out for the first time, you know that the highest number of push-ups you can do is 10 reps, right? Just 10 reps. Like when I say highest number of push-ups, I mean till failure. So if your failure is at 10 reps, what I'll tell you to do is, okay, I'll ask you, what time do you wake up in the morning? You tell me, oh, I wake up at so time. Okay, what time do you go to work? You say, I go at so time. If you have 2 hours or 1 hour in between the time you wake up and the time you go to work, what do you do in between that time? You now start telling me, well, I do this one, I do that one, I do that one, I do that one. And I say, okay, the best way to build discipline is to uh, make something become a part of you. For instance, you wake up in the morning, sometimes you wake up late, like you wake up very late, and you're supposed to go to work in the next 10 minutes, and you have to run into the shower. No matter how much you're rushing, your subconscious will remember that you have to brush your teeth, right? Now, because your subconscious will remember that you have to brush your teeth, it's because you have imprinted that into your system, has become a part of you. So you cannot be uncomfortable brushing your teeth because it's something that you have to do before you go. That's how I view my workouts. So if I do not work out today, it's going to feel as if, oh, I have missed something. And the best way to make you feel like that is if that thing is easy, if it is simple, if it's something that you would have done, but you just missed it. So your total workout or your total push-ups is 10 reps till failure. Why not do 2 reps for 5 sets? That's not going to kill you. Now, somebody would say, how is that effective? You doing that is better than not doing anything at all, right? And what we are trying to establish here is a pattern. We are not interested in, oh, it was a very intensive session. It can wear you out. What we are trying to establish, first of all, is have that schedule, have that pattern. So you wake up in the morning and you have that split 5 minutes, and you know that, oh, if I want to go at the stretch, I can go 10 reps. Okay, then split 10 into 5. Do 2, rest. Do 2, rest. Do 2 till you complete your 5. You get in the shower, and then boom, prepare yourself. You've gone to work. Now, there is this thing that happens psychologically. Once you have been able to say, I want to do this thing, and then you do it, you feel like that is an accomplishment. And psychologically, that thing stays. Maybe because the routine was easy for me. Now, I'm speaking for myself, yeah? Because I started with very simple routines that built a very unique body. And these are routines that you tell it to someone who is coming to you for the first time, and you tell the person you're supposed to do this way. And the person will tell you, just this number. And you say, yes. It might seem small, but actually do it. That's how to actually build that pattern. Now, when you've gotten that pattern into play, cumulatively, that pattern becomes a system. becomes a routine, becomes a schedule. You wake up, you know that you're supposed to do it. It's just like waking up, brushing your mouth, praying, and bathe for the morning. So your bathe now is you've woken up from sleep, you brush your mouth, you do your five sets of two push-ups, just 2 reps, and you go take a shower, one thing, the other, you've gone to work. And you feel good. Oh, I was able to take the box today. You go, you come back. Same thing before I enter the bathroom, I'm supposed to do my 5 sets. Just go down, five, off you go. Gradually, it becomes a system that you're comfortable with, a system that you're okay with. Now, it will get to a point where you now feel like your five sets is very short. You decide on your own that, oh, let me make it 6, or let me make my 2 reps 3, let me make it 4, let me make it 5. And that is how you grow. That is growth. Then once you now feel like, oh, I'm doing this one easily, I can increase it. It now feels like growth. That is because you have laid down a system. So I believe that the best way to go is make the routine very comfortable with your life. Once you have decided that this is where I'm going, okay, um, let me explain from somebody's perspective. I had someone who met me some years back, and he said he's been going to the gym and he feels like one of his arms is bigger than the other. So I was like, okay. He explained from all the equipment he uses and all. And the only thing I said was, okay, number one, I do not carry weight. Number two, I can advise you based on body weight, but this is what I'll say you should do. So I advised him in the direction of which arm is your dominant arm. He said the right. I said good. Which is bigger? He said the right. I said okay. Now, if you pull if you pull or if you lift 5 reps for your arm, make it 6 or 7 for your leg. Something like that might seem irrelevant to some people, but you're not seeing the result that you need. Now, once you have said, okay, this arm is bigger than this arm. I want this other arm to be the same as this arm. All you have to do is, okay, how am I going to get this arm to be big as this other arm?
So are you there?
Are you there, bro?
Yeah, I'm there now. So the network was a bit okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so you were saying, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, can't remember exactly what for. So what I said towards the ending was this. If you are able to establish the goal that you aim to achieve and you have decided, okay, this is what I want to do, this is how I intend to do it. All you have to do is break down the routine to be easy for you. If it is bombarding, you're going to get lazy, you'll easily be demotivated. But when it's something that is easy and you're able to build on it,
Yeah.
you will be consistent. So that's just it, basically.
Okay. Yeah, then the second part of the question, which is how do you build a routine for someone? Or how would you build a routine for yourself? Or if someone comes to meet you with a particular goal in mind, how do I build a routine? A workout routine. Yeah.
Okay. You can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Firstly, like we also established in the first question, the first thing is just to find out what the goal is. Um, some people do not actually know exactly why they want to do this thing. and it's good to hold conversation with clients. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. So, some people come to you and they say, "Oh, I want to work out," and you ask them, "Oh, that's nice. What exactly do you want to achieve, or what do you want to work on?" And some people will say, "Ah, everything generally." That's just because they don't have a particular picture of where they are going. They just want to do something. So, oftentimes, before I even say anything, I'll ask, okay, what motivated you? What's really making you want to do this thing? And that's when you hear some people be more specific. They'll say something like, oh, I need to build endurance, shall, or this my tummy is too big, or I
But
have big
if
lips.
you're like me, I want to see veins.
I'm going to talk about these veins. And there's
Yeah,
something I have to say about.
yeah,
So yeah, once you're able to get them to dig in deeper and actually see that okay, there is something they actually want to achieve. Now is to help them achieve it. How? For instance, someone would say, my belly is too big. I want to do this." Um, get to know exactly how their life is. I don't like to just like the Lose It program that you're running currently.
yeah,
What really makes it very comfortable is the fact that you're teaching them how to manage their lives and everything without actually changing who they are.
yeah,
Now, that's the first thing because if somebody's coming to you for the first time and the result is that they have to stop whatever it is they are doing and become a new person, it is going to be very difficult for them. So, the first thing is just get to know exactly what they're doing. What are you doing? Okay. What do you eat? What do you do? What do you think makes your belly to come out like that? And they get talking. Once they get talking like that, it is easy now. Solution what you reduce inside. That's the start. Also, you can just say, okay, I'm going to give you a simple workout routine. You're just going to be doing that every day. Now, for you to be consistent, I'll be calling you every morning. Just offer them something that can just help boost their morale, for instance. So 80% of the time, some people that will come to you cannot be self-motivated at all. So they will need extra because um if if their mind is not in it, you could even call them and they will not even respond to you.
yeah,
That is why for me it's difficult to just up and give somebody a routine or build a kind of system for someone without them actually being invested in it. That's why I always try to first of all get into their lives, try to understand their own life, try to understand exactly what they are doing and how they do what they do. And I try to fix myself at the most convenient spot because if you meet someone that says, I go to work, I come back by 4, and you ask, okay, between 4 and 7 p.m., what do you do? And they start giving you a whole bunch of lists, and you're like, okay, so do you have, even if it is 20, 10 minutes for yourself? And you hear them say, oh, yeah, for this time, this is what I do. You say, oh, that's good. Okay, let's see how we can be working on this. You might not just start off immediately with yeah, you're going to start this workout on so day. You can just say, okay, how about when it gets to this point, you don't eat, we can have a phone conversation. I can call you and we can talk about what you're going to eat the next day. You just engage them in a kind of way. Once you're able to get yourself in and they start trusting your resolve, they start trusting the advice you're giving them, that's when it is good to settle in with the workout routine. Can now tell them, okay, this time that we used to talk, instead, you're going to do so thing, and then you reach out to me by this time, and you realize that because they had already kept that particular set time for you, that oh, this person is going to be texting me at this point or calling me at this point. You now tell them, take this box and reach out to me. Or you tell them, okay, if you're able to do this, this is what I might do for you in return. Somehow just find a way to motivate them. So first of all, I don't just create random routines for people because it's always a waste of effort. Somebody will come they don't use it. Use that with them having me. Once I start kind of action into
Could you go back? Could you go back a bit? I think I got lost from um it's a waste of time.
well,
Yeah, where you started with you don't really create random things for people again. It's actually you've gotten to see that it's a waste of time. So that's where I got interrupted. Yeah.
exactly how I said it down. But yeah, mostly giving a routine when they just ask you for a routine is actually a waste of time. So what I said next was you have to warm them up into the lifestyle. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Warm them up. And the simplest way to just to get to interact with them. Okay.
Mm.
Make them feel like they have somebody they can be accountable to. And once you warm them up into it and then you make them feel like they can be accountable to you, that's when you can start suggesting workouts and stuff. And then when you suggested and it is cool, how you actually now create the workout is around what they actually aim to achieve. For somebody that wants to tone down the belly, now start from there to okay. First of all, before we go into the workout proper, you have to reduce the portion size of what you are eating. And okay, fine. After they have been able to sufficiently do that for a day or two, next thing we do is you can now say, okay, fine. I am going to give you a very short workout that you do on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, for instance, or days, Thursdays, and you rest in between. Normally, because it is a new venture, they get so excited to do it. But if they're able to tick the boxes for the first week, the second week, then you can now increase it. So mostly what I get from doing that for them is people become a little bit what's the word? They become more confident because they've been able to have this kind of accountable relationship with you, first of all, before you now introduce the workout into it. And when you now introduce the workout, to give them something that's very easy, that they were able to tick the box without so much stress. And when they're able to tick the boxes without so much stress and they start feeling something, and they now report that thing to you, and you see, okay, what they are feeling is as a result of maybe a good workout or something, and you are now hyping them up into it, they'll be more open to do a lot more things, right? That's when you now tailor it. Once you have maybe given them something little, they'll now tell you, okay, this worked out for me, this didn't. I felt like this when I did this one, I felt like this when I did this one. You'll be able to, from there, know how you can make a proper kind of routine that will help them to achieve their goals. Now, what makes them achieve the goal is not the fact that you've given them the routine or you're holding them accountable. What makes them achieve is if they are able to stay consistent with whatever it is that you've given to them. So that's just it for that.
Oh, and that's that's like a whole master class there. A whole fitness business master class. He has just said, yeah, and this is something that we've gotten to experience over time, trust me. Because starting into fitness, being into fitness, one thing, especially when you have gone a certain level, you tend to actually develop a sense of compassion to help, compassion towards others, where you want to help them hit their goals. Excuse me. Can you hear me? You're there, yeah? Okay. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
I can hear.
Yeah. Okay, so I said
I can
that
hear
being
you.
into the fitness game and even
Yes.
in the level where you start coaching people, you get to develop this level of compassion for people that you want to help them hit their goals, whether they actually want to or not. You just want to be all out for them. And then you now get to find out that there are actually people that either they don't actually want to hit their goals, or let me put it in another way that you might be more familiar with, they are not actually clear on their goals. So when you now get down to asking this kind of questions, you now get to actually figure out what exactly is the main thing and then you can now build up a routine for them based on that thing. Because there's one quote that came to my mind during all these things I was saying is, and I wrote it down. It's basically a system that fits is a system that sticks. And it just blew my mind as it came to mind. Once it, if it fits with your personality, your lifestyle, your scenario of life, then put it that way, then it gets you get to stick with it. So that's what you should look out for. And that's what we do as trainers, particularly. So you can check out any of our programs, we have it there if you need a system to help you guys. But just for if you want to run it on your own, that's why we have this channel to basically teach you ways for those that might not be able to maybe pay for the courses, or they they want a beginning touch towards getting into the whole system. So we now do these videos here on YouTube so that they get to actually pick out things from our experience and what we've shared, and then apply it in their own lives. And one thing I'm certain of is that if you apply them, they will work surely. The thing is just you applying them and being consistent with them. And that now brought me to the question which led from where he was ending at. And in our game where he mentioned that the routine is not entirely the problem, it's the consistency and all that that works. And it now reminded me of a meme I saw last week. The last week, yeah. I think I posted it in my WhatsApp status, either last week or 2 weeks back. So it was about a popular bodybuilder, one of the olden days guys, them Arnold time. So, no, them Ronnie Coleman's time, not Arnold, Ronnie Coleman. So he is this guy, Lee Priest, one like 5'5", 5'7" guy. Yeah, he has tattoos all over. So he's one of the guys with one of this how they tag him. Let's say the the let's say the King Killer. Just he's the guy that basically won Ronnie Coleman. Like Ronnie Coleman was wondering why someone far shorter than him won him. It's a popular this year around the bodybuilding sphere. So the whole idea of what he said was this, that one of his friends asked him or wanted to start taking gear. That's basically wanted to start going on heavy steroids, like heavy steroids, that the person was not receiving his goal. The person was not getting his goal, that he can't even get it, that probably his genes are messed up, all those kind of things. And then all the priest did was he gave him a drug in quotes and told him, you take this. And then he gave him a structured system to follow and said, if you hit this, come back and tell me your progress after. The guy came later on, oh, so much progress, he was much bigger and all. And then at the end of the day, the priest now showed him that the drug he was actually taking was just sugar. I think he put sugar inside a capsule. Or something like, I've forgotten the full story, but that's the idea behind it, and that's basically one concept they call the placebo effect. Placebo effect. So I wanted to ask on your view, have you had experience with that when training people? That where you are, I don't know, let me not give more context to that. Let me just allow you to answer based on that. I don't know if you get the point.
Yeah, I do. Um, let me explain from this angle. I
Yeah.
have a friend. He's a trainer. So while I was in Aquagum, he said I should give him the supplements I take. And I laughed. I told him, first of all, I do not even lift weights, so why would I take supplements? He said, that it's not possible for me to use just home workouts to build the body the way I have done. That it must be supplement. So I said something to him. I told him, okay, maybe the supplement I use is bread, that I've eaten bread all my life. Now that's funny, right? It
Yeah.
sounds very cliche to tell somebody that it's bread that I used to build muscle. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But then it established a kind of consciousness in this person rather, that he now eats bread. Not because
Yeah. Just
he
really.
did not he used to eat it before, but now the intention is clearer. It feels like, okay, maybe this is one of the things that I need to be bigger. I don't know
Yeah.
if you understand that.
I totally
So
get it.
for me, what I feel like most people don't know is they often misinterpret the reason for the growth. They feel like there is a special thing they need to do, or a special thing they need to use, or a special kind of equipment they need before they can get a particular goal. It's not like that. Everybody has to understand that uh, your mindset in this thing is important. And there is something like we used to discuss back then, this mind muscle connection.
Yeah.
When I train with my mind and my muscle together. So I can be doing, let me use this one exercise to explain this thing. I can be doing something like dips. You know that dips affect your triceps and your chest,
Yeah.
right? If you are not concentrating exactly on your triceps, I do it and you're feeling more intensity on your chest. Now, if you're not also paying attention to your chest, you might do it and you're feeling it more on your triceps. So it all depends on how you position your mind to execute or target a specific thing. So if you're doing push-ups with the mind that because you do not eat well, you are not going to see result. You will do push-up to a point where your body is just going to feel tired because your mind has given up on it. So you will just stop. But if you have the conviction that it is consistency with the hard work that pays,
Yeah.
there is no way you are work out consistently without seeing results. Take for instance, you know I talk quite well,
Yeah.
how he started. We used to train, and there is one thing he said to me. He said, whenever it comes to pull-ups, he's always dead. He cannot do past three. And funnily enough, that's one of the exercises that, as long as you've built enough arm strength, you're supposed to be able to do it, right?
Yeah.
So I told him to do, and at first when he started, it was seeming difficult. I said, yeah, let's just hang together, just hang, okay?
Yeah.
Now it seems very surreal. Hanging for a long time will give you enough strength to pull yourself up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that hanging does something. It strengthens your arm. Now you'd feel like that hanging is just okay, so that I'll be able to carry my body. No, that hanging is be there so that the longer you hold yourself for, the stronger your arms become. Now, once you've done that, I will now tell you, okay, do one rep of pull up every day, just one, right? So if you're
Yeah.
doing one repeatedly every day, first day you struggled, second day you struggled, the third day you struggled, the first week you struggled, the second week is becoming easy, a little bit easy, and the third week you just do the one. Before you know it, you can do five at a stretch. That's just how it is. It's just about how you put this thing in your mind. So I personally, I think everyone has to realize that the thing is just about the intensity you put into the exercise.
Yeah.
There's no special, there's no all these people that take creatine and the rest of them, after they take this thing, they put in harder work than they would normally. Why? Because they feel like there's something that I need to compensate for. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So they don't just people that do. I don't know about weightlifters, but let me use push up for instance. I don't think people take creatine with push ups. Yeah, but I'm using that as
Yeah. I get
case
it.
study now. I take that in, and normally I do just 10 reps every day. If I take creatine, do you think I'll do 10 reps? I'll feel like I have taken an antibody. I've taken something that is supposed to make me stronger. So instead of trying to do my usual 10, I would want to do
Exactly.
20. So that's the whole mindset behind the thing. So I believe for that guy, giving him that particular capsule with sugar in it, him taking it in made him feel like, oh, I have something special that can help me achieve my goal. So when he went back, he now decided to put in more work. Okay. So putting in more work now has yielded the result, and you feel like you can attribute it to the thing you
Bread.
took into your system actually. So this thing is just quite fun. It's just the mindset. So if you want to do
But I lost you a bit. Yeah, guys, it's gotten a bit. But while waiting for it to come back, I just say that placebo effect is really a fun one. The way I'll put it, it's one that I've particularly done in different areas. One of them could be in the gym during my gym days, and I still go there once in a while now. The idea behind that is when I'm spotting somebody, let's say the bench press now, I could just use like two fingers to assist the person. I would do as if I'm showing my full arm when the person is nearing failure, and I'll be like, go again. Or if the person has given you a determined number with the weight and he's not hitting, he's about to hit it, I'll say go again. I might show that I'm using my full hand, but at the end of the day, I'm using two fingers or I'm not even putting anything at all. I'm just giving that illusion. I get to see that the person actually hits it himself. That's quite a funny thing that ends up happening. The person ends up hitting it himself very well. It gets shocking and even funny. Or let's say something like a push up, assisting the person. I can just put my hands by the side of the person, trying to be like, "Oh, I'm controlling your weight. Go, go, go!" Then shouting, this real gym bros kind of style stuff. Yeah. So that's how we go about it. And at the end of the day, the person will not do it. Then for some people, I get to tell them at the end that, see, you're actually the person that did this stuff. I didn't actually do anything. Then we just laugh about it and stuff like that. So it's really the placebo effect is really a fun one. I'm not gonna lie. It's one that has been really quite funny, especially as a coach. The things that people worry about, and it's quite valid. I'll say that I don't dispute their worries at all. I mean, I had my fair share starting out my journey, but I'll say that now that as a coach, I can see all those things, and then I can now turn it around better and know that, oh, this is what they are going through. I can give them something that will make them think it's working. In people that were in cases where I actually know that at that point they won't really get it yet till you get to show them. So once I now show them that it wasn't really this thing, like in that case, it wasn't really that sugar, or as our guest was speaking today, it wasn't bread that caused it. It was the person's commitment. And when the person eats bread with intention and then works out better, as he used with that creatine example. So it's quite a funny one, I'll say. Let me try and reach out to the guests. Let's see. So, guys, so that's it for the Gistenics channel, the Gistenics show rather. So, guys, that's it for the Gistenics show for today. I just reached out to our guests.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay,
Oh,
so
sorry.
yeah, no problem. So yeah, that's quite a nice one. So just to wrap it up, we'll get to it further in other sessions, hopefully. So, just a quick one. What's if there's only one thing someone will pick out, someone that just sees this show, if there's only one thing that you want them to pick out for today from it, what would that one thing be? Like, if they just do that one, to a good extent, they are good to go. What would you say?
Sorry. I'm one person that if I have the opportunity like this, I like to say a lot of things. But I would say this for those of you out there who are still thinking, should I do this? It would be really, really sad if you leave this world without knowing the extent or the highest capability of your body. Okay? The reason why I'm saying this is some people make excuses every day. You actually want to exercise, but you feel like you need motivation to do so. You do not. Health is wealth. I often hear people say that. And the best thing you can do for yourself is find a way to keep yourself healthy. Can be by your dieting, can be by going for a run, can be by doing some push-ups, whatever it is, but prioritize your health. So what I would want you to take from this video is for those of you who you want to get in shape, okay? You feel like you really need to get in shape. Do not overthink it, okay? Irrespective of what you are doing currently or how tight you think your schedule is, do not overthink it. All you have to do is to make a step, okay? Make a step. Now, whatever it is you actually aim to achieve, flat belly, you want to build your chest, your arms, you want to build your lower body, decide, make sure that you have a specific goal. And once you have that specific goal, try to create a kind of system that leads you to it. Now, pay attention to the fact that it is not important, it is not necessary to bombard yourself, but it is very, very, very good for you to have something simple that you can do repeatedly. As long as you love what you're doing, or as long as you know that what you're doing is leading you to the goal you aim to achieve, trust me, if you're consistent, you'll achieve it. Okay. So I'm really grateful for you guys listening to everything we've had to say today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gist, for having me on the channel. Please
Where,
subscribe to his channel
yeah,
and
where can they
okay.
find you? Where can we find you on the
In
internet?
oh yeah, sure. You type BW Fit Official on YouTube. I'm sure my page is going to pop up. I promise on Instagram, Enwongo Joseph on Facebook. All right, so please do your best to keep yourself in the best shape.
Yeah.
And if you need any advice, you can call Joshua or myself, and we'll try our best to help you out. So thank you so much for
All
having me,
right.
Joshua. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much once again for being with us. So, guys, remember like, comment, subscribe, comment that one thing you picked from this session and the one thing that you will try
Yeah.
starting today. Then share the video with your friends. There's someone that needs to learn one or two from all the things we've shared here. Don't just enjoy the knowledge alone. Probably share it to that your close guy that thinks it's only through body gym exercises that you can get that hot body. Yeah, and all those kind of stuff that we talked about. So that'll be all for the video, guys. See you on the legendary Gystenic show. Have a nice
Yeah.
one. Bye.
Yeah.